and welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast and editor-chief at CIO News. This is our exclusive fireside chat powered by Zoom India on the topic of future of customer experience and collaboration. It is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. It is my pleasure to invite our guest for today. We have Neeraj Chauhan, the Chief Information Officer from PayU India. Neeraj is a people-centric transformational leader, also being recognized as a people's leader from Forbes 100 Great People Managers 2019. Neeraj creates a strategic vision positioned to scale and drive initiatives that enable him for business growth. He empowers people to lead while making the tough strategic decisions for the business. A strategist who builds deep trust within the tech organization, fostering collaborative environment focused on innovation and continuous improvement. Neeraj is a change agent and a CEO partner experienced in all business cycles, including high growth, business transformation, and M&A integration with an entrepreneurial spirit. It is a pleasure to have you, Neeraj, today, and we're really excited to have this conversation with you.
Same here. It's glad to be part of this event.
Fantastic. I'm also accompanied by Raje, the General Manager and Head India and SAARC from Zoom. Soni joined Zoom in April 2019 to kickstart and grow its operations in the country, and is responsible for leading strategic initiatives, operations, pre-sales, sales, customer success, and general management function. Samir has previously held senior leadership positions in the technology MNCs, including Cisco, WebEx, IBM, Microsoft during his career, where he built and led high-profile teams across pre-sales, sales, and support. Samir, pleasure to have you again on this platform.
Thank you, Khushbu. Pleasure is all mine.
Perfect. I want to start our discussion with, putting my first question to you, Neeraj. We have been in a pretty dynamic environment, right? The role of the CIO has evolved in the last couple of years. Very excited to know how your typical day looks like now. While we being work from home, hybrid working to work from office, how does your typical day look like now, and how is it for PayU India? Is it a hybrid working, or you started working from office?
So, in terms of PayU India, not much has changed. Okay, why I said that? Okay, because we work on a very first fundamental from the very starting. Like trust is given. Okay, so the work from home or working from different location wasn't new to us at all. So we did not have to make any, like, not many adjustment to get into the work from home model. And now, okay, so hybrid, the definition of hybrid is also different from all to all, right? But we don't press on like how many days or like which particular location you has to be, right? Whatever suits to employ, where they feel they can contribute more, okay? Because it's an open culture, and as I mentioned in the starting, trust is given. Okay. So not much adjustment. Glad to be part of these kind of organizations. Okay, yeah, things have changed a bit. Okay, because earlier was like by choice. There was a phase where we were forced to work from home, whether you want it or not. Okay, many people are very closely attached to an office. Like if you ask me, I at least want to see my team members, see my colleagues at least twice or thrice. Those guys gives me the energy. Okay, it's that kind of bonding we have. So that time adjustment had to be made. Okay. Uh, in that personal connect thing, but we never stop trusting each and every individual in PayU. So that's how I see it.
Right, absolutely. And like you rightly said, I think the digital natives, it's not changed much for them. Right? It's always been hybrid or work from home environment, right? So it was not so difficult to switch the business environment. I hope that's what you mean, and that's how we've been seeing as well.
Yes.
So, Soni, your thoughts on the same? While you've also been interacting with a lot of digital native companies, how have you seen the work environment, new business environment challenges or the adoption, or has there been really any change for digital natives?
Well, let me start by saying that I completely echo what Neeraj mentioned. And the question itself is, what is hybrid? What is work from home? It's no longer hybrid. It's no longer work from home. We've spoken about it at length. Now it's work from anywhere. Basically, people want to work from anywhere. I mean, an employee would want to just get out of the house, walk up to a cafeteria which is probably close by or next door, and start working from there. It's not necessary. And it was the first time when one of my team, we have a very a young and dynamic team in the which looks after the small and medium businesses. They're very young talent, maybe 2 years 3 years after the college. And once in an all hands call, I saw a fancy background behind the speaker, and I'm like, so hey, where are you? He's like, I'm on a vacation. And I'm like, the word stuck me in my head, like, vacation. I mean, what is this? Like, he's like, oh, I'm in a different location. I'm in the evening. I'm going out. I'm taking a break. It's a vacation, but I'm also working from here, and I've closed few deals. I said, fantastic. That's what it is. So it's what is hybrid? What is work from home? It's today you want to work from anywhere. And to come to your question, while Neeraj mentioned, like, organization like PayU, which is probably a digital native, which is forced to, or which has been used to this kind of environment. It is not only the digital natives, but even in my terms, if you have to call them the dinosaurs of the world, or the organizations which are very old legacy systems, are forced to adapt to this. They are now questioning themselves whether it's time for them to go digital native, because whether they like it or not, their employees as well as their customers are going digital native. Their employees as well as the customers are using applications such as PayU, such as many other things for buying groceries, for making payments, and the push from the government of India for digital payments and so on, so digital banking and all that stuff is just pushing the consumers as well as employees towards that. As a result of which, customers and employees are both going back to the offices and asking, hey, why can't you provide me all this in the office environment if I can get it in my home environment, right? So the life for CIOs, I think, is becoming more complicated there, especially for the old legacy organizations where they have to transform and adopt to the new systems. So to answer your question, it's not only digital native, but I think it's across the board. Point number one, and point number two, it's no longer work from home or hybrid. It's work from anywhere. People choose to work from anywhere today. It's more of, again, what Neeraj mentioned is giving the matter or empowering the employees to choose where they want to work from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you very well mentioned that employee and customers, they both are evolving, and especially are, very heavily dependent on the digital platform. So this also is inclining towards the employee engagement and experience, right? So I wanted to put my question to Neeraj. Which employee engagement and experience is mostly dependent on the seamless performance of collaboration platforms and how they're able to collaborate seamlessly in this work environment, right? So what solutions do you usually provide for employees to collaborate seamlessly, ensure adherence to HR and compliance guidelines, etc.?
Very, very valid topic to start with. Okay. So, collaboration and getting to know each other, okay, is very important or essential part of any organization or success of their organization. So typically we give options or choices in that as well. Okay, because sometimes what happens, one particular user or one department is more comfortable in using a one particular tool or utility. Okay, so we as a org, we don't have a actual reservation or mandate which communication or collaboration tool as a team or unit you want to use. Okay, so we have a topology of default and plus two. Like there is a default communication channel, okay, which we usually prefer, but we don't force people. Okay, because no platform is perfect, or no platform is bad. That's how I see it. Okay, so there are multiple ways to communicate with each other. Okay, one is a video calls. Okay, share documents. There are multiple solutions provided for that. I have a reservation specifically mentioned is in this forum. Okay, I hope you guys will understand. So but apart from video thing, right? So as things are opening up a bit, okay, so thanks to our HR people, actually very creative. Okay, I think every day they think about the employee experience. Okay, what more can be done, what more can be do. Okay, so like 4 or 5 months back, okay, or could be bit early, we started a concept of satellite meetings. So what satellite meeting is, okay, in a one particular area, let's say Noida sector 23 or 32. Okay, there are 2 or 3 sectors around it. See all the employees, okay, who are living in that subset, okay, irrespective of any department, they can meet, have a coffee together, okay, have a dinner together. Okay, and they need not to be in office or something. If as a let's say if it's a small team, right, and they are comfortable in seeing each other outside office, like a cafe or this thing. So those provisions, th- uh, those are the those were the options which were introduced, and people used it. Actually, in Bangalore I used it like exclusively. Okay, because I wanted to try different restaurants and bars, right? So that so but uh, as per compliance, okay, we so the way people see compliance is again differ from organization to organization. But if you see the government framework, it's always beneficial for the customers and merchants, or every citizen of any country, right? So to adhere to that, we just need to be responsible which communication channel we are using, and if it complies with the regulatory bodies or not. So that's the main selection criteria when we not just with communication channel. Okay, for any software we use or any platform we use, those are the things we keep in mind when we decide for the solution piece.
Absolutely. And from the customer experience perspective, Neeraj, how do you measure CX? Like, if you could share some light on the techniques of emerging customer experience strategies.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
On the customer experience, while we covered the employee experience, would be very keen on knowing on the customer experience part, that how do you measure CX? If you can share some light on the techniques of CX strategies.
So there are categories into it. Okay, if we can use the satellite meetings, okay, or open house meetings with internal stakeholders, that can be easily replicated to the customers if they are comfortable. Okay, and we can use the same virtual meetings, okay, and use the same uh, in-person meetings. It depends upon the situation. For when we prepare the strategies, we don't differentiate much because uh, those are also a part of our extended family, and the solutioning and experience at some point it has to be same and seamless. They should be comfortable and confident, and if they have a trust, uh, PayU is responsible to take care of all the privacy part in all the communication or all the meetings, and we are respecting everybody's information. Then it makes our life easy.
Right.
That's how I would put it.
Right. Soni, your thoughts, and what according to you are the new building blocks or technologies for CIOs and technology leaders to ensure customer delight?
Well, extending or picking up from where I left off, to respond to the last question, right? I mean, I did make a comment that things are getting a little bit probably complicated or even more complex for the CIOs is what we are hearing. And let me explain that statement. And it is coming from a fact where the customers and employees both are becoming more demanding, are becoming more and more empowered, and also are going digitally savvy. For an example, a customer chooses to escalate the matter on a social media platform rather than coming to you on your provided helpline numbers or support channels. It's very easy escalation by the customer. Go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, go to LinkedIn even these days and write anything about it. Even without making an attempt of understanding what it is, or sometimes even giving the company a chance to fix things. So the customer is so demanding today, and so is the case with employees, right? We've seen some funny resignation notes, bye bye sir, and all that stuff, which has been having in the social media these days. But that's a fact, right? So what is changing is and what we are hearing as we work very closely with organizations like PayU and CIOs like Neeraj is the fact that right from the interview process to onboarding to ongoing coaching and development and anniversaries for employees, as well as right from when the customer first visits your website or the portal or the application or even the store for that matter, or makes the first attempt to connect with you, to the contracting process, to the support and after sales services. All these are now integrated workflows, and these workflows demand to be connected to one another. Let me explain. Like for example, when a customer comes on board, if or wants to place an order, if that's a broken experience, it really doesn't work. If you pick up the customer right from the website, give him the options, him or her the options to purchase, and then give the online payment options and contracting and so on and so forth, becomes much more easier. The chances of losing the customer, footfall to loss of customer becomes very less. Similarly, picking up from there to support, when a customer is trying to contact for deliveries to post sales and after sales services, if that entire workflow is stitched together, then it becomes a complete experience in itself for the customers, and the same goes for employees. So what we are hearing is stitching all these workflows together, uh, having common applications which run across these workflows and have the ability to provide support right from sales, pre-sales, sales, after sales and support, and so on and so forth, right? And having probably video or other collaborative technologies as a part of it is what we are hearing, and that's what CIOs are doing today, and that's what we are hearing from the market and industry.
Right. Neeraj, what better approaches have PayU been taking, for measuring and improving the customer experience?
Very good question. I wanted to add when Samir was mentioning about the experience and how to make it more engaged. Okay, So cloud native is the first approach which we have adopted, like way before this thing. Because what happens, as company grows, right, and it goes for a scale. Okay, usually we when we say cloud native, we think about platform or production environment, or where uh, customer facing environments, right? But there are multiple applications which serves or which plays as a very crucial or integral part of your success, and scaling of them is also as crucial as your platform which is serving the live traffic. So when we decide about the technologies, our first preference is any solution if which attached to any workflow which connects the dot has to be highly scalable, highly reliable. Security always comes first, right? And the data localization, because everything is uh, every data can be used or misused in many ways. So intentionally and unintentionally, whether any company is under compliance or regulatory or not, but and that's my request from this platform to every company, whether it's a small or big, please keep data privacy and security of the information of your customers, whether your employees, anybody, should be uh, in mind while you taking a decision to onboard any tool or utility. Okay. So, apart from scale, because sometimes what we happen, we just get too focused on serving the customers better or merchants better, and somehow we tend to lose the point. If we are responsible also towards them, that's also serving them better.
Right.
I hope I'm able to communicate the message clearly in this uh, point.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think security is one of the key parameters as of now, and CIOs are focusing extensively on the security before deploying any solutions, right? So I think that is one of the key things at this moment. And after COVID, we've seen a huge demand on the security as well. Samir, your thoughts on the same?
Well, absolutely. I mean, security is absolutely need of the hour because cybercrime probably has. I think the last report which I read post the pandemic, I think the cybercrime has gone up by 600% or something like that. So that's quite ridiculous, right? And there are very few companies which, while everybody looks at security as a thing, right? But uh, what is security and what it done? So there is point number one, which is data privacy. This is the first thing, right? We all of us use smartphones and we download applications and we don't even know where we are, what make and brand is the mobile phone of, and where the data is going, and similarly what applications are being downloaded, and we don't even bother to look at the rights or the permissions that the applications are asked for, right? So there are very few companies who come out in the open very clearly and speak about it and do things about it. Like again, if I go far away, if you talk about Zoom, there were questions raised about Zoom security and so on and so forth, just I think 2 years back or something like that. And we were probably one of the few companies which came out in the front and we addressed not only the customers but employees and everybody, and we held fortnightly webinars. I personally was sitting at Ministry of Information Technology and Electronics, sitting with CERT folks and explaining them the facts versus myths, right? Because in India, the WhatsApp University is very active and people love to send misinformation and miscommunication more than they send the facts, right? So we put the facts out there to the government, shared all the data, which is about our technology, where the data is stored, and all that. So I think it is, agreeing with Neeraj, companies have to first and foremost be frank and open in terms of what is happening, where it is happening, and how it is happening. That's the first thing. The second thing is, whatever the company said and done, there is second aspect, which is the end user, right? We talked about work from anywhere today. Now we need to understand when an employee or a student or anywhere is working from anywhere, he or she is a CIO, is a CISO of their own workspace, their own device, right? Because they're working from private internet, they're working, they don't know who's lurking behind in the cafeteria, who is looking at what or hearing the conversation. So that's another thing. Things like students, teachers who don't probably have a full-fledged security team and an IT team to back them up, they need to be coached and guided very differently. So again, taking a Zoom example of how we went ahead and how we conduct even today educational webinars for teachers, schools, and all. So I think it's extremely important that companies do that. Again, there are a lot of information today about the GDPR, and one of the companies under billions of dollars of fines being implemented, schools banning some of the applications out there, and even laptops. So again, in our country, we still are in the process of defining the data residency rules, the data storage rules, and up to what level it needs to be stored or what level it can be taken out or copied. Those laws are to be still formulated. While that happens, it's the responsibilities of the companies to protect the citizens of the country and do the right things. And I think the honesty and fairness, keeping everything out there in the open, is the best policy, as we do at Zoom. And hence, I agree with Neeraj in terms of the cloud-based security. While cloud-based applications are mostly secure, companies do take the requisite steps to keep it secure, but it's the need of the hour to be transparent and open and honest about what's happening and what data is being pulled and what data is being used, because you never know what's going on your phone at the back end.
So I want to add into Sameer's point. I was seriously impressed when I read the case study of Joe. Okay, and I was uh, comfortable from inside after seeing the transparency and the effort and seriousness Zoom has put it at that point of time. Okay, so that's why I said, if you are transparent enough and and you are responsible enough towards your merchants or customers, whether it's internal or external, everybody is precious. Okay, so it gives the comfort, and it makes you to get partnered with those platforms which are responsible enough to take care of your needs.
Absolutely, and to Neeraj's point, I mean, every company goes through this. Everybody, we are humans, and companies are run by humans. Mistakes happen, right? How is to be fixed, how it to be addressed, and what is put forward honestly, and what is hidden. That's what defines the success of an individual and a company. Spot on, Neeraj. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great. I think we've covered on digital collaboration, employee experience, customer experience, and the very important topic of cybersecurity as well. Right. So it's been a great conversation so far. And with the time constraint, I just would want to give one last minute to each of you for your last notes before we end today's episode. Maybe we start with Neeraj. Any key takeaways or anything that you would want to share with the viewers on the topic of future collaboration and customer experience?
Yes. Be conservative about the solutions you're gonna use and implement in-house. Be confident or clear about your requirements, and do your due intelligence about the solutioning part, as Mr. Sameer said. Okay, transparency. If somebody is open enough and transparent enough with you, give them the leverage, because in today's world, not everybody is open book. So, and that feature plays an important role when you are selecting the technology or platform for your internal use. Thank you.
Sameer, your final thoughts.
All right. I think Neeraj has covered quite a lot. I will just leave with the thought that, what we are doing at Zoom is we are helping you reimagine your workflows, if I may say that. It's not even about your about your workplace, working anywhere, hybrid. So Zoom earlier was a video or a meeting app. It's no longer the case. It is more of a collaboration platform. And anywhere and anyhow you think of your workflow, Zoom or the video platform can be embedded into it. And we've got some amazing stuff, right from workplace reservation, which helps you reserve your uh, office space when you're getting into work, to utilizing that feature as a parking reservation system or EV charging reservation system. Yes, we are doing that. And to digital signages where you're charging your vehicle, you can have financial institutions talking and promoting their products just next to it on a huge signage. Yes, we are doing that. So a lot of stuff we are doing, and Zoom is no longer just a meeting application what everybody knew of. It's a complete collaboration suite of services, from instant messaging to workplace reservation to and has technologies like AI, VR. You can monitor the CO2 in the room using Zoom. So a whole lot of things we are doing, and it's amazing. So any workflow that you can think of, Zoom can be embedded in. That's the message I would like to.
Great, excellent. Great conversation with you both. Thank you so much, Neeraj, for taking our time. Thank you, Sameer, for taking our time. And lovely conversation. I look forward to having many more interactions with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.